So as you can see, the libraries are pretty much the Pythonic, right? So it is all Pythonic, Python style of writing the code. Yeah, that is what your Flask application is all about. So you define the libraries that you require, you import them, create the environment, then you define your application, instantiating it, right? You're giving the application name. And I'm trying to run my Python code. This is all my Python code, which is the regression model, the actual model that we have developed from a machine learning perspective. So I'm using the required libraries to load the saved models. One is for data pre-processing, one is for doing the regression. Then you can see this is the default page where when I launch this application, when I execute this application and try to go into the HTML view, I will be redirected to this particular page. Now this page, you can see, is a custom function that we are writing, and this function is getting triggered and automatically the HTML page gets rendered. Right? There is something called as Jinja2. The Jinja2 is basically a web template servicing, or you can say web template templatizing engine. And Flask uses this, right? Jinja2 environment, and it gives you a lot of, you can say, template engine. I have templates ready here. So one such template that you're seeing is index.html, and all the things that we basically pass as an input are defined in this HTML page. So if you want to also work with the Python Flask, then I would also recommend, it's not mandatory, but I will also recommend people to also have some basic knowledge about the HTML programming. At least the understanding of HTML program is required. If you look at me, I'm not a HTML developer, but I was able to manage it because I could understand the syntaxes. That's a small trade-off that you need to look at. Now, let me show you this HTML page as well. Now, the syntax always requires that you need to have this templates folder. This is the hierarchy that you see. We make the master code that we are executing for your Flask application is here. And along with this, you'll also have another folder called templates. If I go inside this, you'll see HTML pages. These are some of the standard HTML templates that we will be using. Again, let me open this index.html. That's the default page that we go through. So you can see this is document style as HTML, and we have the tags. The page that I'm launching is called as fuel efficiency prediction page. You can see that as the name here at the top, right? Fuel efficiency prediction model. That's defined here. That's the title of the page. Then I'm defining some kind of basic fonts that I need. I'm basically taking those things from Google APIs. Remember, it is lightweight framework, so everything can be mapped, connected. So I'm directly taking it from the Google APIs, the fonts and all, right, colors and everything. And the background, I'm keeping it as white. And you can see this part is scrolling, right? And that is, again, done by your readily available template. Now, once this is done, I mean, if I again compare it, you can see this part, know your car's fuel efficiency. And that's something that we are trying to show here. Then comes to the logo. In order to render the logos, we need to have the syntax. This is the syntax that we will have to use. IMG, the source of the image. If you have offline images also, we can try and show that. We need to have the CSS, this folder structure, and you need to give the location, the path of that particular image, and it will automatically get shown here in the UI. So this is the logo that we are directly taking from the website and projecting it here. Then the red color basically is given for your title, right? And I'm calling it as fuel efficiency prediction of cars model. This is again shown here in the red color. Next comes the right action. You will have this page to be called up, right? So it has to redirect to this page. Okay, but before that, we are also saying that you need to upload the data so that it can get the triggering done. So the file name is equals to file. This is how we are going to give the input. I mean, if you see, these are all readily available templates, friends. You don't have to try to define a lot of things. Flask is an application which takes care of a lot of things. Even in this code, when you look at the HTML pages, right, it only looks at the uppercase text. The rest of the entire text is something that we are designing for the UI. Right? Everything is automatically handled by Flask itself. Now, this is the trigger that we are giving, and it will basically redirect. I mean, it is calling an action and it will redirect to another page.
Yeah, I have a query here. It is more so with reference to what the audience might ask. So you've mentioned that these templates are readily available. Obviously, in the internet, they are readily available and we can use that. So how much of work is required? So if I were to pick up a template, let's say for a person who's starting up front, in the context of our training at 360DigiTMG, where we train them on reusability of code, we have the code, pick part of that code, use it somewhere else. We already give them. So on similar lines, are there adequate number of templates available that we can pick and probably make 3, 4, 5% or maybe 15% changes, and we can have the web app created for this deployment?
Yes, Nitin, that's a very valid question, and reusability is very important aspect in today's world. Right, the solution has to be readily marketed. If you look at the screen, I'm showing the Flask official documentation. It's a web page, right? Official web page. This is the Flask documentation, and if you see that as and how I scroll down, you can see a lot of details, templates. Right, testing Flask applications, handling application errors. So a lot of things are readily given to us. It's all about reusability, right? So you just take these examples and try to make your customized changes that you require, and then boom, you're ready to use,
Thanks. That helps. Thank you so much, Sharan. Yeah.
All right. So coming back to the discussion, you can see the HTML page is defining the success page, right? So this is the other page which has to be redirected after we're getting the solution. So here, this is the home page, and we are getting this HTML view. And once you click on submit, the result has to be given when the action is success. So we are redirecting the page, routing the page home directory to the success page. And for this success, we are writing a custom function where we are saying, take the file, which is passed in this HTML page, right? You're reading that as your data so that you can pass that data to your model that you are defining here, right? So you're calling the model, and you're also calling the transformation, the data pre-processing model. These two are saved models. So you're calling those saved models and directly working on the data which is passed in the index page, home page. And this is going to give us the results, the predicted results. These predicted results are also getting saved. Along with that, we're also saying, show the result on a page, data.html, and you'll be surprised to see the amount of HTML code that is there in this file. Let me show you that. Look at that. These are only the 2 lines of code that you see, which is written in your data.html, which is printing the output automatically. So your Flask is intelligent enough to understand these readily available templates. So look at that. This is your success and right slash success. This is basically the output that you are getting by the data.html page. So I've put this text here. You can see this is the result. It is basically coming here, right? And that output is given here. Z is equals to this. This is what you're printing on data.html. You're calling it as Z, right? So that Z is given here. And Y is your outcome. That's all. See, it's like very simple, intelligent tool which automatically takes care of everything. And once we do this, the solution that we are seeing from a client perspective, the UI is given, the UI is giving the predicted results. The last column is the predicted results. But at the same time, we are also trying to save, right? It doesn't hamper. Your Flask is flexible enough to allow you to do all this. So along with the visualization, we are also trying to save the file here in the current working directory. You get this results.csv, which is a CSV form of the same output that you're seeing here. So you basically have two channels. One is saving the data. One is basically publishing the UI, the results in the UI. The example that I'm showing is very simple. So I've just tried to save that result on the local machine, but you can also design your code to connect to database and update that in your database so that it becomes, the solutions become persistent. And these solutions can again be used as a feedback for improving your model. So this is a simple Flask application.